Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this clip dealing with avoiding mistakes with Revit member links. Right? I feel like this is quite a critical one. You might be a very seasoned Revit user and you might laugh at this, but I felt like for me, when I realized that there was something to take stock of, especially when I started working with schedules in Revit, we started looking at nesting member links as well. You can check out our clips on Nest 1D for that. But that this becomes something critical to take note of, because for a member in Revit, it has two lengths. So two length parameters in general. When you select a member, you look in its properties panel or palette, you'll find that there are two parameters to look at. All right, so without wasting any time, let's jump straight into this one. All right, so within the member space, we've got our model, just something very, very basic to sort of explain the point. And if we cut members, so of course we cut members we split members so that they fit into the actual sizes we can get from suppliers, right? That is an important point. You'll see a couple of grips here. All right, so this grip manages this particular feature of the element, and then you've got this grip over here. Right, now with the member selected, if we look in its properties, we've got cut length and then we've got length, and you can see that the two of them are different. So as I move this grip backwards, you'll see that the cut length should adjust. You can see the cut length is adjusted. If I move it forward, you see that there is no change in the length parameter. Right, are there changes to the volume? Let's have a quick look. Yes, so thank goodness. For some reason, thankfully, the volume does relate to the cut length and not the length parameter. They might go, well, Jacobus, that's silly. Why would you even worry about that? This face should always align with that particular grip over there. And that is not the case, actually. So if you look over here, we've got a beam, and we would have placed these beams using the grids. If I select this beam, you can actually see that that member end or component end is at the location of the grid intersection. But because Revit is a BIM tool, it actually already cut off the edges of the member, or trimmed rather. It trimmed the edges of this member back so that it doesn't intersect with the column itself. So actually that these two volumes are not overlapping each other. And here again, you can see this length is at 10 meters or 10,000 millimeters, but the cut length is different. And so if we go to the structural framing schedule, where I have cut length versus length, you can see that quite often there's quite a difference between the two. And that will all depend on your modeling approach, etc. But you can see here that this could very well be the difference between a member that is the right stock length versus not. So say, for instance, you can get I-beams at 9.8 meters, right? If you had to purely look at the length parameter, you'd have to go one length above, because, well, the length is 10,000 millimeters. I can only get these, or the closest cut length or the closest stock length I can get is 9.8, and afterwards it's 13.2, for example. Can you imagine the wastage? Versus if you work to the cut length, this is 9.685, your stock length is 9.8, you can go, cool, that means that 9.8 is going to work, and that's what I'll order. And so I'm highlighting this just because, well, not just because, but so that you can actually check and be aware of this when you're doing your scheduling through Revit, that is really something that you have to take stock of and really be aware of, that it is possibly much better to use the cut length parameter than it is to use the length parameter, and make sure that you're differentiating between the two. So with that, that's the end of this little clip. Short and sweet. Please, if you have any questions, if you have any recommendations, if you just want to add something to what I've shared, please pop it in the comment section below. Otherwise, you can send me an email directly. And if you haven't, please like and subscribe to our channel. Other than that, that's it from me. Hope that you have an epic holiday season. Stay safe. and looking forward to seeing you in 2025.